We're about to be live.
We're about to be live.
Oh,
We're live.
we're live.
Oh,
We're
we're
live.
live.
See, this is why we have a YouTube page. I gotta figure out how to
Is that the
share
just
this.
take the link?
Is that how that
I think
works?
so. Just take the link.
All right,
and
we're gonna
post it.
take the link. If you're in here right now, what's going on, everyone? Tweeting out the link as we speak. Of course, we have the loud washing machine in the back.
It's part of living in a house.
Here we go.
Excellent.
There we go.
All right.
We're live. We got people in here. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? I don't know why Twitter was not working today, so we decided we're going to use our YouTube.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Our
gonna
newly created YouTube.
Newly created YouTube. I'm going to go right on YouTube right now. You guys ask all the questions that you might have, and we'll get to as many of them as possible. Right now, if you guys didn't hear us before, we were talking about weather in some of these games going on today. I'm a little bit more wary when it comes to starting non-studs like DJ Chark, like the Jarvis Landrys in the Browns-Texans game and in the Packers-Jaguars game. Maybe it'll give the Jaguars a chance to win. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Get to 2 wins. That's at 0.
You only want that so that your Jets can get the first
Exactly.
overall.
And you're wearing your Rodgers jersey.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit of a curse, but
All right, gotcha.
Absolutely. No, I mean, weather is a factor when it's bad enough. Absolutely. Those 50-mile-an-hour winds, that's bad enough. Throwing a football in 50-mile-an-hour winds is not easy. Obviously, you're not going to sit Devontae Adams. You just won't. That's dumb. You're not going to sit Will Fuller. That's dumb. However, guys like DJ Chark, like you said, I could see a case, especially with Jake Luton. Is Jake Luton starting again?
yes, he's starting.
Yeah.
With Jake Luton starting again, that's risky. You know, you've got any other Packers wide receiver, especially since Allen Lazard isn't playing, is a no-go. Brandon Cooks, I'm a little bit lower on, absolutely. But for the most part, I don't let weather affect my rankings when it's not bad enough.
But
just
then,
because
we're talking.
it's football season. But yes, 50-mile-an-hour winds, that's an issue.
All right, let's get into some questions
Yep.
here because we're finally getting some questions in. We got the first one coming in from Steven. Need 2 and a flex full PPR. Chark, Mooney, Chark again, and Balaj. Well, you need 2 out of those, and Chark is twice. I'm still going to go Chark. I know I said I was a little bit
Yeah,
lower on Chark,
yeah.
but I'm still going to go Chark there. And I'm going to go Mooney.
Especially if Allen Robinson doesn't play, I
Huge
know
boost.
there's a chance that he doesn't. Mooney goes through the roof. Even if he does, Mooney's been solid. Mooney has been absolutely solid. Chark and Mooney is probably who I'll go as well. I like Kalen Balaj this week. I'm just concerned because on top of Balaj and Kelly there, they've also given Pope some touches. So I think it's a question mark as to who gets the majority of the touches.
We
in that
haven't
match.
seen enough from Balaj
No,
yet
we
to put
haven't.
him over those other 2 guys.
Absolutely.
When we know Mooney's got like a 7-point floor and can get you up to 15 points.
Especially
and-
if Robinson doesn't play,
Exactly.
Mooney is
Yeah.
going to be great.
Exactly. We just haven't seen Balaj
Yep.
actually produce yet. So hold off on him.
If you want to hear more on Mooney, you can check out our recent video right up here on our YouTube page. Next question, we have John Brown or Sterling Shepard. I'm going to have to – I like Shepard, what
Yeah.
I've seen so far
I've
since
gotta go
coming
with
back
Shepard.
from the injury. I know John Brown had a nice week last week, but I'm going to go Shepard on
The
this.
Yeah.
difference between John Brown and Sterling Shepard is John Brown has had 1 really nice game since returning from injury. Sterling Shepard's had 3, and he's getting consistent targets. His target numbers since he's come back from injury, and that was in week 7, have gone 8, 10, 8, and he's put up over double-digit fantasy points in PPR in each of those games. Sterling Shepard's a consistent guy at this point. He's a good option. I know Philadelphia's pass defense is pretty tough, so you might be a little more hesitant, but I'm okay going with Sterling Shepard at this point.
Apologies again for the washing machine in the background. That is beyond our control. Hopefully it's not too bad. Next question here coming in. Claypool, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks. Pick 2.
Claypool, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks.
So it's got to be Johnson over Claypool.
Yeah, I'd go Johnson and Cooks.
I'd still go.
I'd go Johnson and
Yeah,
Cooks,
you know, the Steelers and the Bengals are also dealing with some inclement weather. That's more rain and a little bit more wind, while the other games are a lot of wind. So I'm not too worried about the Steelers there. I'm gonna go with Johnson and Cooks on this one too.
Yeah.
All right, next question. I have T. Higgins and Gio starting against the Steelers today. Should I be worried? I have Justin Jefferson and Balaj on the bench.
No,
Thanks.
don't start either of them over them. Justin Jefferson, I do not like this week. I don't like any of those Vikings receivers this week. I think they're gonna struggle, especially with how well Dalvin Cook's been playing on that run first team. and against a really tough pass defense, no. Stick with Higgins, stick with Gio.
The tough thing about that is, there's a huge opportunity for both those guys to bust there if the Bengals offense can't do anything, which it's very high chance that happens. With Joe Burrow as a rookie quarterback going up against top 5 defense in the league, we saw him struggle earlier against elite defenses. Still, you can't justify putting Justin Jefferson in there, or the other guy was Balazs, right? Yeah. You can't justify putting those guys in there over the guys who've shown they can produce. So while I'm not confident in that, I think you still have to do it.
Well, I'm a little bit more confident in Gio. I mean, anytime you get a back that has the ability to be a workhorse and catch passes, I think that you're set all the way around.
Gio over Balazs, no question.
I have no
the
issue.
The bigger question is Higgins and Jefferson, but I still got to go
I
with
have
Higgins.
no issue going with both those guys. I think the better question is about the stack of stacking 2 Bengals players in the same game against such a tough defense. I mean, if the Bengals can put up a goose egg this game, I don't think they will.
And here's my philosophy on stacking running backs and wide receivers. They are not typically – their production is oftentimes independent of each other. Yeah. So if Higgins doesn't do well, then maybe that means it's because the ground game is working, and or because the pass game isn't working, and so Gio just gets more touches, right? So I'm not concerned about that. That's fair.
All right, moving on. We got another question with Gio Bernard. Gio or Devontae Parker at flex? I love Tua this week. I'm going to be honest. I'm loving Tua this week.
And Parker is shooting up my rankings every week that I see Tua go out there and play better because Parker's his number 1 option.
But every week I stick by this when I say I always like to start the running back at the flex position more because I like the guaranteed touches that they get. I'm going to go Gio on this one.
I'll go Gio too. I'm kind of with Shane on this one. I like the guaranteed touches, and I just don't think Parker has guaranteed touches.
It's a tough defense. It's a bad offensive line. I mean, you hate that combination, but Gio's going to get receptions too, which creates a solid floor. Who knows? Maybe he breaks off a big run or two. Go Gio.
All right, next question. Michael Thomas or Adam Thielen? You're obviously going to start.
Michael Thomas. Adam Thielen is a fringe wide receiver 2 for me this week. I have him at 24.
I'm going to start him over Chark with the weather. I was going to start Chark, but I'm going to go Thielen now just because of the weather. I am a little bit more worried about that if the Vikings are down in this game. They're going to have to pass. They're going to go through Adam Thielen. But for this question specifically, Michael Thomas is the easy pick right there. Moving on here, start Wentz versus the Giants or Big Ben versus Cincinnati. Mentioned the weather there in Cincinnati. It's not too bad. Definitely something to monitor. I still like Wentz a lot, though, this week. He's my QB7. So I'd go Wentz.
I'd go Wentz, too. Wentz has been crazy good, crazy consistent.
Not last week.
Not last week. He had a bad game last week. Let's not get caught up in recency bias, though. Rest of the year, he's been absolutely fantastic.
29 fantasy points last time out against the Giants. I think he's going to put up a similar stat line again today.
I'll go with Wentz because these guys are going with him. I'm so close that it's kind of a wash.
It is, I mean, I have Big Ben at 9 in my rankings.
Yeah,
so they're
absolutely.
Wentz has that rushing floor for you.
No, 100%. And I mean, Big Ben's dealing with the weather.
And knee injuries. Yeah. I mean, Ben's got some injuries.
Last week he kind of got injured a little bit.
All right, next question here. James Robinson, Aaron Jones, James Conner, or Josh Jacobs? Wow. Sack running backs. Pick 2.
Aaron Jones and James Robinson.
Yeah, you got to go with the first 2, especially with the weather there in that game.
What about a flex? Can you put James Conner in your flex? That's 3 RB1s right there.
Could, absolutely. Next question here. McKissick or Kelly? Juju or Jefferson in standard?
I think it's McKissick
in standard. McKissick in standard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Kelly. I'd have to go Kelly in standard.
I'm going to go Kelly in standard too, and then for the other one, Juju.
Yeah, I'd agree. McKissick in PPR is an RB2 in standard. I don't even know if he's an RB3. He's not getting the rush attempts Antonio Gibson.
He'll get the dump offs from Alex Smith.
Exactly.
In PPR, you love that.
You love that. He's going to get 6 receptions a game for 50 yards, 45 yards, maybe a few carries for 10 yards. In PPR, you're looking at a 13-point game. I'll take that as my RB2 any day. In standard, you're looking at a 6-point game.
Godwin or McKissick in standard league? Gonna go Godwin on that one. Another one.
Yeah, standard
McKissick.
Godwin, no question.
All right, next question here. We got McKissick. A lot of McKissick. McKissick, Devontae Parker, Deontay Johnson at flex, PPR. I'm gonna go Deontay on this one. I have him very, very close with Parker. They're 2 spots apart in my rankings. I know you guys are probably going to say McKissick. I can't fault you on that. Mm-hmm. Do like the running backs, but Deontay Johnson, I think, is the number 1 wide receiver on that team.
I'll actually surprise you here, Shane. I'll go Deontay Johnson, too. I think Deontay Johnson's been more consistent. McKissick is very matchup-based, and he has a great matchup this week. But you look at his top 2 games this year where he's scored double-digit points, significantly over double-digit points. They've both been against the New York Giants, who are very, very bad for some reason against pass-catching running backs. And both of his top performances have been against the same exact team. The rest of the schedule hasn't panned out the same way for J.D. McKissic. So while he's good, while he has the easiest running back matchup against the Detroit Lions, expectations are still a little bit tempered on him. I don't think everybody's thinking breakout ability after the last game. I don't think that's there yet. I think he's probably still around a 10-point a game guy.
I honestly, Jack, I think Deontay Johnson is probably the lowest on my list for that. So I honestly, Devontae Parker and Deontay Johnson, my rankings are neck and neck. I have Parker 1 or 2 spots higher though. McKissic though is the guy I'm going to go with in PPR. I understand what you're saying, Jack. Do not expect a massive game from McKissic, but McKissic's going to give you a solid game. And honestly, I guess I should say, what are you looking for? You're looking for guaranteed production? Go McKissic. You looking for a big game? Go Deontay Johnson. Devontae Parker, I don't think has quite the ceiling, but I think has a slightly higher floor than Johnson. So.
Again, usually I say the running back and the flex. In this case, McKissic is not one of those bell cow backs that would get the guaranteed touches, which is why I went Johnson. Next question, can we count on Lockett? The last time people asked if they should start Tyler Lockett or bench Tyler Lockett, he ended up dropping 53 points against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
You're starting Lockett week in and week out. I know he seems more like a boom or bust wide receiver right now. But when
he booms, he wins you your week.
He wins you your week single-handedly.
50 points. He had 30 points his other big boom game. He can win you your week. I honestly, if I'm going to put money on any player booming this week, I'm putting my money on Tyler Lockett.
Next question here. Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown, or Jefferson pick 2.
Michael Thomas and Devontae
Adams. Yes. Don't even worry about that. My friend Chris Clune is in here. He says, why am I so dominant in Shane's league? Chris is 9-0. I know he tried to scam one of my friends for Nick Chubb, so not the smartest out there after they came to the old commish here. But next question here. With CMC and Montgomery out, do I go Damian Harris, Rex Burkhead, or Joshua Kelly in full PPR? Listen, I saw what Burkhead did last week. I know Harris looked great, but Burkhead was getting the bulk of those touches there. They trusted near the goal line. I'm going to go with Burkhead on this one.
I think that's fine. You just have to be aware that it's going to be a boomer bust. Now with each of those guys, it's a boomer bust.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kelly boom yet, except for week 1 or 2 or whatever it was where he had 25 carries. And I haven't seen Harris boom recently. So, yeah, I think that's fine to go Burkhead.
I honestly have no idea. I don't think I would go Burkhead. I'd probably go Joshua Kelly. I mean, it's a risk no matter what you do. I think Kelly and Harris both have slightly higher floors than Burkhead. But, of course, I mean, if Harris is out, go Burkhead. I should say that. If Damian Harris sits, go Burkhead. If Damian Harris plays, I'd probably be more inclined to go Joshua Kelly.
Melvin Gordon, DJ Dallas, Kenyon Drake, Ronald Jones, and Tyler Boyd need 1 running back and 1 flex. Well, for flex, I think you're going to lock in Tyler Boyd there.
Yeah.
For your running back position, a little bit tougher because I am not a fan of Ronald Jones, nor am I a fan of Melvin Gordon. Kenyon Drake would be an up-to-the-minute call, and he's not guaranteed to play.
No. I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon.
Yeah?
I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon here. It's close. I just think Leonard Fournette, each week we're starting to see him take over a little bit more.
All these guys are in timeshares.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Melvin Gordon's your best chance to have a big game. I don't think Ronald Jones has a particularly high ceiling. And I should say, Melvin Gordon, do I think his ceiling is crazy high? No. But I think Melvin Gordon's your best chance to get a good game.
I'll go DJ Dallas since it is standard. I know Travis Homer is more of the third down, passing down back there. But with Carson and Hyde out, I think Dallas is going to see the goal line work and the standard, especially when you count on those touchdowns. I'm going to go. Melvin
Gordon will see the goal line work too, though.
Yes, so will probably Kenyon Drake. I think they're all very close.
I'm kind of leaning
Drake. Kyler Murray will run in those 1-yard touchdowns. They won't be Kenyon Drake.
Well, I'm not making the case for Drake. I'm saying DJ Dallas is the guy I would go with.
I'm kind of leaning Drake, but I'll actually go DJ Dallas as well, just because I know I'm going to get production out of him.
We also don't know if Drake's playing.
Exactly. That's the issue. We don't know if Drake's playing. But if Drake plays, I'm not against that. I think you slide Drake in there.
I still go Melvin Gordon.
Need a flex starter PPR league. Gio, Antonio Brown, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, or T. Higgins. Also for tight end, Hawkinson or Gronk. Flex starter PPR. I'm going to go Gio. I've said that before.
Yep.
And Hawkinson is the undisputed. He's my undisputed tight end 1 this week. As long as he is fully good to go, healthy, Hawkinson is going to be in your lineup. He should be in every lineup this week.
Absolutely.
All right. Next question here. We have Lamar or Goff to start.
That's actually a sneaky good question.
It's a good question because
Goff is going up against Seattle,
who have allowed 3 passing touchdowns.
I was watching this. Quarterbacks that go up against Seattle, if you combined every single one of them and made them into a Franken quarterback, they would be the QB4 on the season, above Patrick Mahomes,
How?
because that's how many points the Seattle Seahawks are giving up to quarterbbacs.
So
Mahomes,
I get what he's
I feel like
You see what I'm
Mahomes-
saying? Like
Yeah,
no, but I'm saying like if
I thought
you-
Mahomes was a
5,
QB.
yeah.
There's no way. Mahomes has
This
been
was-
phenomenal this season.
that's true, but this is I'm pretty sure this is what I
Mahomes is the number 1 quarterback in fantasy, so I don't know about that.
Okay,
It's okay.
maybe not above Mahomes. However, they would be the QB4 on the season, and that's like insane.
I'm
So,
going Lamar on this
Yeah.
one. We just saw Joe Flacco torch the Patriots last week. Lamar can get it done on the ground, through the air. I think he's going to have just an overall bounce back performance of what we've seen in weeks past with him throwing the ball. I'm going to go with Lamar.
Yeah, I'll go with Lamar as well. If you look at just their overall floors there, Lamar hasn't had a game under about 14 points. Goff's done that 3 times. The floors are a little bit lower. The ceiling's also higher for Lamar. You got to start your studs, Gil Jackson.
go with Lamar.
All right, let's do some rapid fire questions here as we come towards the end. Starting 3 backups: Suke Johnson, Gio Bernard, and Mike Davis. Do we replace any of those with Parker or T. Higgins? No, I say start all 3. I like all those 3 running backs. this
Start all
week.
3 of
Go
them.
with that.
Wide receiver: Robert Woods, A-Rob, Fulgham, and Fuller. Running backs: Mike Davis, Gibson, and Duke Johnson. Choose 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. I'm going to go with Woods and
A-Rob.
Fulgham. I don't know if A-Rob's playing
That's
yet,
a good
so I
point.
can't
That's
do
a
that.
Monday. That's a Monday game.
I'm going to go Woods and Fulgham, and then running backs, I'm going to go with Duke Johnson and Mike Davis. Except I have Davis and Gibson back to back, but Davis is 1 spot higher.
No, I'd go Gibson and Johnson for running backs, and I'd go Woods and Fulgham probably. Yeah.
I'm on the same exact page as Woods and Fulgham, and I'll go same as Shane, Davis and Johnson here.
All right, next one we have Jordan Reed or Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert
Goedert.
for sure. Next question here: J.D. McKissick or DJ Dallas in PPR? Well, in PPR, you're definitely going to go McKissick.
Yep.
Talked about that a little bit earlier. Is Travis Fulgham a good start?
Yes.
With Jeffrey back, I question it. Don't question it.
Don't question it.
I do like Ayak a lot.
Is
though.
Jeffrey actually back?
Yes.
Jeffrey's back.
Seriously?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think this deal would come.
Yeah.
I just
Yes.
dropped him. But yes, I truly believe Fulgham
I don't
is.
think it's a
gonna be-
mistake. Why would you ever start Jeffrey going forward?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll
Yeah,
see what
exactly.
happens. But yeah, Fulgham's still a good start.
Start TJ Hawkinson or stream someone on the wire. You got to start Hawkinson. I know the injury
What?
might be a little bit concerned. It's the injury. If no injury, people wouldn't
Yeah,
be too worried.
Hawkinson, absolutely don't question
You're
it.
starting Hawkinson.
Yep.
Fulgham or Boyd? Ooh,
Dun, dun. Now we get the tough question.
Boyd.
I know,
I
right?
go Boyd.
I know I have Boyd higher. Fulgham will most likely be shadowed by Bradbury, who's been fantastic this season for the Giants. I'm gonna go
Yes.
Boyd, but I know I have them within 2 spots of each other.
I'm gonna go Fulgham.
I
because
don't hate it.
trust
I
the
don't hate it.
Bengals against the Steelers.
But
I don't think that's a good matchup. I think Joe Burrow he's pressured on every throw. I don't think the Bengals offensive line can compete with the Steelers defensive
True.
line, and that's going to affect the entire game plan.
I will
for this
say
team.
this. I will say this. The Steelers have actually not been great against wide receivers.
They haven't, but the argument.
But I understand your argument. However, in college, Joe Burrow was the #1 quarterback against pressure. I understand this is different. This is the pro leagues, but that still gives me a little bit of confidence in him. At least he was quite good under pressure last year at the college level. That's why I don't think it's that much. I mean, it's a huge impact. I mean, it's going to affect him absolutely. Joe Burrow is not going to be the same as he is some weeks when he's absolutely going off. But I still think that Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins are going to have good games because I still think he's going to produce well enough to get them the ball.
So looking at Tyler Boyd, he hasn't faced he's faced elite defenses, right? He's had 3 games where he's scored under 15 points. And in those 2 of those games came up against other elite defenses with good pass rushes. That was Baltimore and that was Indianapolis where he scored 8 and he scored 12. The Bengals offense didn't play great in those games, and Tyler Boyd didn't play great because he had tough matchups. When the Bengals go up against tough matchups, their wide receivers don't produce. It's just how it's been the entire year. That's why I'm a little bit less on Tyler Boyd here.
If there's any way to kill a rapid fire, it's by spending 2 minutes on Tyler Boyd
Hey,
when we only have
needed
2
to be-
minutes
needed
left.
to be. All right, go on.
Can only start 2. Travis Fulgham, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, and Devontae Parker.
Kirk and
Fulgham.
Yep.
Yep, Kirk has moved ahead of Cooks for me as
At
of
this
right
point.
now.
Yep.
Start 2, Gio, Mike Davis, Matt Breida, Balaj. Breida is out. Balaj is not guaranteed work. Go Gio and Mike Davis.
Yep.
Henry or Goddard, PPR. Goddard burned me first game back. Not too worried about it. I'd go Goddard on this one.
Yep.
Need to start 3, Kirk, Godwin, Chark, Jefferson. Who should I go with?
Kirk Godwin.
Well, 3.
Oh, Kirkart, Godwin,
Chark.
And Chark.
Yeah.
Bench Jefferson.
Yep.
Start or sit Lockett. Talked about it. Gotta start Lockett.
Start him.
Lockett
Do
or
not
Kirk.
sit him. Please do not sit
Gotta
him.
start Lockett.
Lock it.
McKinnon or Balaj would drop one to activate Nick Chubb.
McKinnon. I like McKinnon.
What are you
this week.
talking about? Drop Balaj and activate Chubb and start Nick Chubb.
Oh, start Nick Chubb.
Yes.
I apologize. I like
Don't jump
McKinnon
the
a lot.
gun. Don't jump the gun. Drop Balaj, activate Nick Chubb,
Yep.
and start him.
Yep.
Sit one, non-PPR, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd.
Sit
And Chark.
Johnson.
And sorry, and Chark. And
Oh,
Chark.
sit Chark.
Sit Chark. Tua or Wentz, Fant or Andrews. Go with Wentz and go with Fant.
Yep, not even a question.
Chark, Mike Williams, Darnell Mooney, PPR scoring. I'm soon pick one.
Chark,
I'm going to go
Chark.
Mike Williams.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
I'm telling you, Chark's moved down for me.
That's too hot of a take, Chark.
Sometimes I just like to be a little bit spicy. All right.
Yes, you do. And sometimes you start John Ross and he gets you 0 points.
Full PPR, Dobbins or Damian Harris. Go Harris. I know these guys are both stuck in committees, but Harris has looked better and given more opportunities than Dobbins the past few weeks.
Yep.
Kenyon Drake off injury or Zach Moss? I'd go Moss.
Moss.
This is looking like Moss's backfield every single week.
Yeah, I mean he's getting goal line touches. I still have him as an RB3, but he's definitely, if he gets into the end zone, that's a solid day.
All right, last question here before we wrap up. Samuel or Fulgham? I assume Curtis Samuel. I'm going Fulgham on this one.
Fulgham, no question. Alshon Jeffrey being back does not concern me just because of how well Fulgham's played, and especially with how injury-prone Alshon Jeffrey is, and just the fact that he hasn't played at all this season. I honestly think that might help Fulgham to take some defensive pressure off him. I still like Fulgham.
Yeah,
I still think
Fulgham's awesome.
I don't know if there's any way that he's not going to continue to be their number one guy just because the intangibles are there. I mean, his size, he's huge, and he's fast, and he's producing. There's no way.
Subscribe to our YouTube if you have not already. If Twitter doesn't work, we're going to be going live on here sometimes. Now we're going live on Locker Room. You can download the app on the App Store right now. Go get it. Join us on there for the next half hour where we answer more of your fantasy questions. Go over some injury news right before kickoff. Peace out, Brainiacs.